Hello and welcome to The Falcon. I'm your host, Clarky.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Jess.
We just had the Anzac weekend of football happen. There were some great Guernseys and a hell of a lot of off-field controversy. So let's get to the other side of this music and we can start talking about it.
1 second, I just need to plug in my charger. My laptop's about to die. Play the damn music.
Oh, shit. Leave it all in. He's dropped it. He's fumbled the job. He's fumbled the job.
I was enter footy.
Hello and welcome to The Falcon. Hey, we already did the intro, but we're coming back in after a short breather of that nice little hold music that you know is us. Plenty to talk about this week. We were just going through the run sheet before the show, and holy crap, guys, we've got a lot to unpack from football this weekend.
And that doesn't include the games on the weekend.
So much stuff that is not related to football, like actual game football. Like, I don't even know where to start. Unfortunately, we once again have suffered defeat of the roast quaddie, the Bulldogs letting the team down again. Trifecta. With the Bulldogs letting us down again. Chris, holy shit, Aaron Norton almost died.
They let me down in multiple ways at the moment. Yes, I legitimately thought Aaron Norton had died when that happened.
It was one of the worst
on the
things that
couch.
I've seen in football for a long time.
Yeah. I was on the couch and I was like, oh my God. And my wife looked up and she was like, what happened? And I was like, hang on, let me go backwards for a second. And because I was watching on KO, not on Channel 7, and KO didn't replay it. Channel 7 did about 50
Multiple
times. Yeah.
I think Channel 7 waited until he kind of gave a thumbs up or something. And they were like, okay, he's alive.
He's alive.
We haven't witnessed live death on television, therefore the replay's fair game.
Yeah, his neck just took the entire brunt of the fall.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has gotten away without a concussion. I have no idea how. He looked like he was completely out of it when he was on the ground. And now he's a test. He might play this week. They've put him down as a test.
Crazy. For anyone who didn't see the incident in full, essentially Aaron Norton took to the skies to try and get a mark and was ceremoniously tunneled by Swans player. I say that term, but I think that term kind of implies intent, which I don't think it was intentional at all. I think the Swans player was running to the contest and kind of realized, oh, this is not going to take him out. Had his legs taken out. And then he decided to land on his neck, which looked dangerous. Like it truly sickening stuff. And the fact that he's a test is crazy. He went home. He got his parents to drive him home, for obvious reasons. Wow. Just wow.
It was, yeah, like obviously we see a lot of crazy injuries in the AFL and there's a lot of like big hits and stuff, but that was the one time where I was like, oh my God, I've just seen a man die.
Yeah,
like,
it was a very
he might never
feeling.
walk again.
Similar feeling in our household. The gasp, the like, oh my God, in our household as well. And just like I felt my stomach flip when I saw it happen. Because yeah, you're just like, holy shit, did we just watch someone die or become paralyzed? It was scary.
Yeah, I think it got to the third time they replayed it when Jess was like, stop showing it. We gotta stop showing it. Someone has to stop them.
And then BT was like, here's that replay in 4K at different angles.
Show it again and again and again. This game did not end well for Aaron Norton, and it did not end well for the Bulldogs either. Chris, what is this still like a lack of English, or what's happening at the Bulldogs?
It's the injuries. It's a lack of English though. We're just getting absolutely smashed in centre bounces. Lachlan Smith first game did a little bit better because at least he has like some muscle. But Brodie Grundy still he did whatever he wanted, and that's what's been the case the last few weeks against us. And obviously, like, I know that a lot of people say, oh, it's only one player, it doesn't make that big of a difference, but our entire game plan is around winning clearances and winning the ball from the middle because we have such a good midfield. So if they're not getting that, then our game plan's out the window.
Yeah, this felt like I had the wind sucked out of it very quickly, which is kind of disappointing when it's Thursday night football. It's
when there's nothing else to swap to.
I mean, it really set the tone for the rest of the round, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for my
Yeah.
super coach team though. I had the vice captain on Brody Grundy. Engaged that
So
leaderboard,
did I.
150 points.
I ranked inside the top 1,000 this week.
Oh.
Yeah, 950 odd, 920 odd, something like that.
Oh my days.
Well, you know
Mr.
what they say.
Celebrity.
The 920 is the first loser. I don't know where I've heard that, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, Tim English to test this week, Aaron Norton to test, potential for Cody Waitman to now come back at some point, which is really good news. I can't remember if we said that on camera or off camera, but I think
No,
should
we
mention
didn't
it.
say it. Yeah, we didn't say it on camera. Cody Waitman now has a return timeline, so 4 to 6 weeks, which is great to hear.
All of last year, basically, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did miss all of last year.
Mm.
English listed as a test, Norton listed as a test, and Artie Jones listed as a test as well. So
Good
we could get
news.
them all back. Libba still listed as being in concussion, and then there's a few others.
And as the team that plays you for the next going round, I hope none of them pass their test.
I hope they all just take an extra week to rest.
As someone who has Luke Jackson in his Supercoach team, I also hope they don't pass the test.
I hope that Isaac Heaney has also taken a holiday because the D's plays the Swans this week as well. And I'm not ready for the come down yet. We've had 2 back-to-back wins. This is what living is, guys. And this is going to be my seamless transition to the fact that Melbourne in Anzac Eve destroyed Richmond by 54 points, but it didn't look like we were going to for some of the game. It was quite close up until maybe the end of about halftime.
Mm.
Was kind of where it started to blow out, and then the fourth quarter, Melbourne stepped on the gas a bit.
Mm.
Just take us through your thoughts on this one.
Look, they had me worried in the first half. I was having some alone time watching the football without putting the baby to bed, and I almost turned it off. I think half time or just into the third quarter, because I just thought I like it started to look a bit bad. And I was like, oh my God, they're coming for us. This is how it ends. Like, we've been too close. It's just been a bit all over the place. Like, I think I was hoping that because it was Richmond, that we were going to have that, like, that game that everybody loves to watch where you're just, like, in control, kicking goals, and it's just fun. And you're like, I can just enjoy this because it's not stressful. And, you know, it's going to be great. We know that we're going to win. But after the Essendon catastrophe the other week, I just had no faith that we were actually going to pull it off. And I thought, are we going to be the first win for Richmond as well this year? Because if we are, I'm going to cry. And then when they started kind of turning it around, I even had to turn the commentary off because it was driving me insane listening to them talking, just droning on. And then
Because it was BT and Richo as well, so
Yeah.
obviously
horrendous.
there was a lot of green shoots coming for Richmond every time something good happened for them.
Yeah. And then I actually noticed, I thought I'd test it because I was like, I wonder if I'll enjoy the game more if I turn the commentary off, which I did. And then when Josh came out and obviously wanted to rewatch the bits that he'd missed, we had to watch it on KO, so it wasn't the Channel 7 broadcast. And the commentary was a lot nicer to watch on that. And I can't tell if it was because I knew that the result was good or if the commentary was better as a whole. But it was much more enjoyable to watch it the second time. But it was good to see that we actually did put the foot down at some point. There were some really good moments. But I think Richmond did push us in the first bit. I hope they do that to someone else.
They're
And win.
playing West Coast this week.
Oh.
So this could go.
Blockbuster.
Big one.
And I genuinely currently the favor is swinging West Coast way, but I'm smelling a spicy tip this week because if Richmond come out and last week they kicked horrendously, if I remember correctly. I'm just gonna check the scores live, but I remember.
I think at one point they had 2 goals, 12 against North.
Yeah, 1-7 in the first quarter last week, 2-12 in the second quarter, 4-12, 7-13. So they kicked horribly last week. And then they came out against Melbourne and were 3-1 in the first quarter, 7-2, 10-5, and finishing the game on 11-6. Yes, you didn't have the winning score, but that's really important, is just being able to kick straight. Every single point represents missed opportunity for them, and they really just need to sort that out, I think, and they'll start to look a lot more competitive and they'll get that momentum for them.
It's going to be an awful game to watch, though.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. I'm not watching it.
Richmond West Coast. I mean, if you're looking at when you were just saying the points scored there, West Coast had a very similar scoreline against St Kilda, where it was 0-3, 1-6, 5-10, and then they finished 5-12. So
You never know because they're pretty close to the same level, so you never know. Like it might end
we
up
love
being
those.
enjoyable.
What do we call them? The bottom of the barrel, the cellar dweller games.
Cellar
Cellar
dwellers.
dwellers.
Bring it back.
The
It's
battle of
very-
cellar dwellers.
For once, the AFL have actually had like a bit of a smart thought with scheduling here. So they know that this is going to be a horrible game to watch. So it's on at 4:15 on Saturday. They've put another game on at 4:35, Geelong North, where they're like, just watch this instead. We're not going to torment you. I know, but it's the lesser of two evils.
Well, Chris, ebbs and flows because, and this is something that we need to address actually. I've got a few reasons to say fuck you to the AFL this week, but this is the first of a few. Friday night double headers are the worst fucking thing in the world. Like for TV broadcasts, like I get it if Sydney and the Giants are playing a Friday night derby, or if like it's just, you know, it's the showdown, or there's just an interstate game that needs to happen on a Friday. Make that the game. I don't it doesn't bother me, but having two games on at Friday night, when Friday night is like you sit down and you watch the game that's on kind of day. Like that's how it's meant to be. Don't make me pick.
Yeah, you like it or you sit and watch it, whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
We're all there together, suffering through the same thing.
The things I don't, so there's double headers for the next 4 weeks on Friday
it's
nights.
ridiculous.
It's fucked. But also the thing I don't get is this weekend's one Friday. You've got potentially an absolute blockbuster in the Dogs versus Freo. If we do have those players that are tests coming back, then this could be a good game. But then at the same time, you've got the fucking showdown.
The showdown.
Like, why would you put both of these games up against each other?
The showdown after Port beat Geelong this week as well.
Yeah.
If you're Channel 7, you're going, all right, that is all of South Australia will be watching this. And then we have the rest of the country that we have to keep occupied somehow.
To be fair, I think neutrals outside of Adelaide like watching the showdown because it's pretty spicy. The players get into each other. There's a bit of biff. Like, as a neutral, I like watching it. I'm annoyed. I'll probably watch it if we're down by like 50 points, which we most likely will be.
You won't be at the game, Christopher?
No, I'll be watching the showdown.
I'll be in
Respectfully. Yeah, respectfully. I got a couple thoughts about Melbourne just before we move on, which is I heard it from one of the guys on The Debrief, which is the Melbourne-based podcast. And they said that this is one of the tough things about being a team that is right in the middle of the table, because you have games where you sometimes think that you could be a top 4 side. And currently we are statistically, but you also have periods of football where you're like, oh my God, we're a bottom 4 side. Oh my God, what's happening? Everything is terrible. And that's kind of the worst ebb and flow of being 10th, you know, in an 18-team league. But there's just been so many moments where like I get really stressed when I watch Melbourne play, and I'm just like watching them and they're doing that thing where they stick to their system and then a handball that they're going for doesn't pay off and it just goes to a pack of 4 Richmond players who were just unmarked because everyone was in there. Like they had moved to position to get the run of play. But then when that works, like we've kicked over 100 now 5 times this year, which is equal to our total games over 100 points for the whole of last season. Like,
And more than Collingwood kicked all in the last
well, Collingwood finally hit 100 points this week. So Tom Sparrow has been so good. And I knew that he had it in him, but he never had the opportunity. And he's really stepped up the last few weeks. And without Jack Viney and Caleb Windsor is still developing, like I think he can still be really good for us. But Tom Sparrow has kind of stepped up to be like the guy. He's in the perfect age bracket. He's a workhorse. He's got really good vibes about him. Like he is, so you can tell that he's really dedicated to the club and his craft. Like he's really stuck with us. And it's really good to see him kind of coming into his own. There's so much to love about seeing this team when we're going well, and I really love the approach that we have when it's not going well.
One thing that didn't go well in this game was a little bit of wife drama.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Chris. Cass sent a message to the group chat.
Yeah, there was a headline on one of the news.coms or Daily Mail or one of the aboves, which said, AFL star out of Blockbuster in wife drama. So I clicked it to be like, whoa, what's going on? What's the wife drama?
You
What made him
clicked
pull
the
out of
bait.
game? I clicked the bait. They got me. They got me.
They got you good.
His wife went into labour. He was
It's so dramatic. You know what?
Oh my God, so dramatic. How dare she?
I'm so tired of, the women just be like, oh, I'm having a baby and it's really difficult. I guess you can't play football. Like, what?
Couldn't she have picked, I don't know, the next day? What
Yeah.
day did you play Saturday? Couldn't she have gone to labour on the Sunday? God.
I just imagine Jaden Short, like, before the game, just turning around to Adam Muse and being like, oh, the old ball and chain's got a bit of drama going on. I'd much rather be here, but she's making me go all the way to this fucking hospital. And Adam Uze was just like, oh, fucking wife drama.
I love it.
Been there myself.
Jess and
Women
I
be
stumbled
birthing.
across a trend on like Instagram Reels, which is just this, I say trend, it's just this one lady who posts videos and she goes, Boomer t-shirts be like, if you can't find me, I've gone fishing because my bitch wife finally let me. I find it's just the funniest thing because that is exactly the kind of like, and this headline sort of falls into that category. Like, this is the kind of stupid, dumb shit that fucking boomers think where it's like wife drama. Jaden Short was probably the happiest man in the world.
He had a baby over the weekend.
Like he had a gorgeous baby over the weekend.
It's funny because a guy I worked with moved in with his girlfriend and I was like, oh, how's that going? And he was like, fine, because we love each other. And I was like, great. And that's the end of that conversation.
I'm very happy for you.
I'm so happy. And good, as you should.
Yeah, it's amazing. 10 out of 10 reporting. Melbourne might not lose again next week.
Although you did just lose your CEO again. Did you want to discuss that?
Oh my God, there's so much.
Look, if we don't
to
talk
get.
about it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So confirm, you did just get a CEO recently, right?
So
7 months ago,
Okay.
wasn't it?
yes, in the off season, after the stepping down of our previous CEO and head coach. Breaking news this afternoon leading into this evening, poor Melbourne have gotten rid of their CEO, Paul Guerra, and apparently, according to Gary Lyon on AFL 360, they're going to announce their new CEO tomorrow. Nine have reported that Paul Guerra is engaging lawyers about it, and I think collectively all of the Melbourne supporters just went, can we have 5 minutes where something is just good? Can we just have 5 minutes where something is good without it being tainted by some dumb shit? I don't know what to make of this. He's been with the club for 7 months. Effectively, we could probably just say that he's turned around the whole club, right?
I guess you can say that. You can try and say that. It's not the truth, but you can say that.
Yeah, everything's good. 5-2. That's all we need.
Okay.
I mean, is this the definition of quitting while you're ahead? Like, if he leaves now, he can be like, we finished fourth
Yeah.
when I left. So, mission accomplished. Peace out, guys.
It's that Simpsons meme at the end of the Alien episode where Leonard Nimoy is like, my job here is done. And he's like, you didn't do anything. He's like, didn't I? And then Paul Guerra just fades into the distance.
To be completely fair, one of his jobs was appointing Stephen King. So, in a way, he kind of did do his job. But watch this space, developing. Melbourne, stop doing dumb shit. Brian Cook is our interim CEO of, Geelong West Coast fame. He's one of the people who, if I am led to believe from what I'm reading correctly, was part of Geelong during a successful premiership era. So Melbourne consult with him from time to time, and he's stepping in as an interim till tomorrow, I guess. Or whenever the new series starts. Yeah.
Are you sure it's not him?
Watch this space.
We're going to announce him.
At least everything on field is good, and that's all that matters. Moving on to... Oh, it's your guys, Cass.
My guys. I was going to say, can we talk about my guys now?
Yeah, your fellas. Your fellas played at 8:10.
Oh, God, that feels late, doesn't it?
Was it a Saturday?
It was a Saturday.
8:10 on a Saturday night.
Okay, that's me showing how exhausted I am by having a 10-month-old baby. But I was like, 8, 10, my goodness.
Sounds like a bit of drama to me.
Classic.
Classic parent drama.
No, I did stay up and watch the whole game. My husband did
Ooh.
not. He went to bed. But look, it was a game. I don't know if I want to say it was a good game. It never felt like we had them entirely. We won by enough in the end, but I just needed us to be more than 2 goals ahead at the very end because of some recent games against Carlton where they've kicked a goal and then gotten a free kick and kicked another one after the siren or something. I just knew that was a possibility of happening again. So we just kind of sit on edge when playing Carlton.
They got a real run on randomly in the last 5 minutes. It was just out of nowhere. They were like, hang on, maybe we can win this.
And you could just feel every Fremantle Dockers fan's sphincter tighten in that moment. Holy shit, here they come. Yeah. There were some great moments again. Shea Bolton took home the medal that night. He's looking exciting and fun. Luke Jackson is maybe All-Australian ruckman. Maybe going to take it out.
There's too many All-Australian ruckmen this year. There's
They're
too many
all
doing
Australian,
well.
guys.
That's fair. Tristan Xerri, Max Gawn, Brodie Grundy, Luke Jackson. The team is just going to be all ruckmen. It's Bevo's nightmare.
It's going to be hard to squeeze in all those ruckmen with all the midfielders, Chris. That's the hard part. Yeah, Luke Jackson without Sean Darcy just getting free reign. Mason Cox definitely takes so much less space away from Luke Jackson. He kind of just does what he needs to do. And I think it's probably because Mason Cox is a better forward. Just a better utility, I guess, than Sean Darcy, who is only good at one thing.
And that's hit-outs and handballs. He's pretty good at handballs as well.
I read earlier today it's been confirmed Darcy's now out for the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, no.
I think I saw. So, yeah. Yeah.
It sounds really mean. It's really mean when we do that.
Cass, I wanted to ask you, I just can't get a read on Fremantle's midfield this year.
Are you going to ask me who's good this week, if it's Sarong or Brayshaw?
Yeah.
I can't tell you, I'm sorry.
I saw some quote from Andy Brayshaw that he said that his role has changed, where basically he just plays a fluid role and constantly moves positions or something. So, it's basically he's constantly being moved, so he might play wing, he might play half forward, he then might move into the midfield, he then might move back to a different spot. It was a very Ted Lasso type of response of, I just play all the positions on the field. I just can't get a read. He did well this week, Sarong did shit.
Yeah, it's one, I can't answer that, Chris, because I don't know what's inside JLo's head.
Not fun, that's for sure.
Apparently he's having some fun now. I don't know if you saw that against the Eagles. He was like, you know what, fuck you guys, we are having some fun. We beat you.
Realizing that he gave himself a really, really bad one-liner that was gonna follow him
haunt
all
him
year.
forever. Yeah. No, I think just Brayshaw and Sarong do paper, scissors, rock before each game to decide whose turn it is to be good. And
do we think that Carlton have made any steps forward from this game?
I mean, at one point...
felt like they came out in the third quarter and were like, we've got to win the third quarter for once.
And they did.
And then they lost the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point in the last quarter, it was a 40-point margin. And then they just randomly decided to start kicking. I don't know if it was just that Carlton all of a sudden decided to play, or if Freo just kind of eased off the pedal a bit too much.
We definitely eased off. You could feel it.
Yeah.
In my group chat, everyone was like, oh boy, we've taken our foot off here. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's any...
too much.
I don't think there's any corners for Carlton to turn at this point.
No, the ship is firmly sinking. Yes, Chris.
And I think the thing, I've seen a bit of commentary online about Fremantle is we're sitting second on the ladder, but the talk still is never about Fremantle. And I think it's because we don't play...
Live in Victoria.
We don't live in Victoria. We don't play flashy football. We play very vanilla football. We just do enough to get the job done. And it's the games aren't that exciting. You can turn it off and look at the score later and be like, okay, cool. Unless we win in the final closing seconds, which happens too often for me. It's exciting for fans, but it's not flashy football. It's not hockball. It's not
I've never thought about it until you've said it, but now that I do think about it, I do kind of think of Freo as a team where I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll watch them because they're on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're here too.
Yeah.
But I do I like individually. I'm like, when I think of the team, I'm like, I like a lot about Fremantle. Some of my closest friends go for Fremantle. They're a good club. They've got exciting players, but I don't think about their games like the Showdown. I'm like, I don't care about Crows. I don't care about Port, but I'm kind of excited to watch the Showdown because I feel like that'll be a good game. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's what Freo needs is some zest.
And it feels like adding Shea Bolton in, I was like, oh, there's some zest. There's a little sprinkle there. Even having Mason Cox kick the goal and then wave his Guernsey at the crowd, it's like, okay, a little bit of arrogance. It's good. We need a little bit of that. We need, I don't know, we need a villain.
You need a villain, yeah.
You had someone who showed a bit of arrogance, but then he showed too much, and that was Pat Voss. And then he just became unlikable. He's not quite villain. He's just
He's just a big dum-dum, remember?
Yeah.
Also, he was laid out on the weekend with just a mystery illness. Maybe his cat was giving birth or something. I don't know. But
no, that would have been cat drama.
Voss out, and then
Voss out.
Cat drama.
Pet drama.
They replaced him with Jeremy
Docker.
Sharp, which is funny. I was like, yeah, that's a like for like swap right there.
Got it.
So, we're going to talk about the Anzac Day game.
Mm-hmm.
Very briefly, because, oh no, Essendon, you really tricked us.
Mm-hmm.
You really tricked us into thinking that you could have done this, and Collingwood decided to go, oh, hey, we're good.
Well, Scott Pendlebury just said, "Get me out of the old folks' home.
Oh no,
I'm
put him
back in my prime."
Yeah, he's in his prime, and he can be in his prime for essentially. This might be a niche one for some of our audience, but it's essentially Goku doing a Kaioken, where for every minute that he is good at football, he has to then his body wears down so much that he's missing the next game. He's already been announced that he's not playing against Hawthorn because he's being rested.
Leather poisoning.
Leather poisoning.
So, it was closed for the first half, right?
I actually didn't watch this one.
Yeah.
I was going and picking up a desk that I bought off Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, great.
Well,
They kept it within 2 goals, right?
up until about 5 minutes into the third, it was about a 15-point margin.
Mm.
Jess, from the Clark's perspective, because you did watch this game, what was your take?
Yeah, look, I was rooting for Essendon. I was hoping that they were going to smash Collingwood, and then we'd have a little bit of solidarity with them of going, see, we underestimated them, and they're actually pretty good. And then they just let me down. But it was I don't think it was excitingly close. I don't think there was ever any point when they were within the 2 goals that I would genuinely believe that they could do it. I was more just quietly surprised that they'd managed to keep up.
Yeah.
I think the way that they were playing, it wasn't oh, fuck, they really, they might actually have it in them. It was more just kicked another one. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, we'll see if you can do it again. And then when it just blew out in the second half, I was like, there it is.
I mean, to have
That's what I'm waiting for.
8 goals kicked between the 2 teams by half-time, it's not thrilling. Not a thriller.
No. Which is a shame, because I feel like I really love those milestone games of Anzac Day and all of that. I was glad that obviously Melbourne won on Anzac Eve, because that feels like one of our really big ones, and I feel like we might not win on the King's birthday. But when it's a bit kind of meh, it feels like a bit of a letdown, even though the pre-game stuff's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of the pre-game stuff, and this is I'm only going to say this once. Welcome to Country has been back in the media this week. We here at the Falcon obviously acknowledge and are grateful for the contributions of First Nations people to the great sport that is AFL. Booing during any Anzac proceeding, whether you agree with Welcome to Country or not, is cunt behaviour. Do not do it. First Nations people were as much a part of the war efforts as, Australian citizens and, Euro heritage citizens. Yeah, I can't believe we're doing this again as we do every year. I've been seeing the debate happening quite a lot across Facebook, and I feel like it's important that we reinforce our values here at the Falcon, which is, hey, Indigenous people, we should acknowledge and respect them and their traditions. It's not bullshit. It's not a woke agenda. It's not left. It's not right. It's respect. You respect our country. You respect Indigenous people. We respect the Anzacs for their service. Thank you. I'm only saying it once. Don't be a cunt.
Here.
Thanks,
I'll say that bit. I'll say that bit twice. Speaking of people being cunts, let's move over to our next big ticket item. So there's a couple of things that come out of the St Kilda West Coast game that is not related to St Kilda or West Coast playing each other. St Kilda won by over 100 points. West Coast looking pretty flat. We thought that they maybe turned a corner. They have not turned a corner. St Kilda, have they turned a corner? I don't know. They were playing West Coast. Hard to say. So we've got 3 doors that my lovely co-hosts are going to help me pick between the 3. We have controversy regarding the ARC decision-making process, which has now been changed. We've got a story that came out about Ross Lyon involving some comments he made to Indigenous players. And we've also got Lance Collard's tribunal appeal, which I have some pretty strong words for the AFL. So we're going to pick our poison with this one. Maybe we start with the light stuff. Or do we start with the heavy stuff? Like, do we get the vegetables out of the way?
What do they say? Eat the frog first. No,
Yeah.
eat the frog last. No, normally they say eat the frog first, but I reckon leave the heavy one for last.
I've not heard about this eat the frog saying before.
Yeah, well, I'm confused with this.
You never heard of eat the frog? If you've got a choice between 2 things, one delicious thing that looks a little like chocolate, and then one terrible thing that looks like a frog that you got to choose to eat. You start with eat the frog, get it out the way, then you save the chocolate for later. And it's not a chocolate frog; it's a real frog.
Huh, right? Okay.
One's a chocolate frog, one's a real frog. No, let's not call the first one a chocolate frog because that's confusing.
Yeah. Well, then which frog are you eating?
The gross one.
Okay, so we're going to start with Lance Collard. We spoke about this a few weeks ago on the show. Lance Collard was cited for using a homophobic slur in a game against Frankston. He swears that he used a word that was a sound-alike, but it couldn't really be substantiated either way because the witnesses were the Frankston players and the witnesses for him were obviously his teammates. In the end, the decision was made, I believe it was 8 weeks?
I think it was 9.
9
Yeah,
weeks.
9.
9, yeah.
He has appealed. He went to see his mum and looked her in the eye and said, I did not do this. This was not me. I did not say that. Please, mum, believe me. And you know what, like, looking at it objectively, because this story isn't really about whether he did it or didn't do it. You know, we allow people chances to be different, and I hope that he is different in future. That's learn and grow and be a better human. Now, the appeals board. So they reduced the penalty after finding that I can't even the messaging has gotten so messy in the post, but they essentially reduced the sentence to 2 weeks and released a statement regarding that, noting that the appeals board is an independent review tribunal. Part of their statement included this direct quote. We observe that football is a hard game. It is highly competitive, particularly at its high levels. We accept that it is commonplace that players can employ language from time to time which is racist, sexist, or homophobic whilst on the field. This was said by a real person who has now been sacked.
That was one of the most unhinged statements that I've read.
They released this publicly, and whether or not they are independent is completely unrelated because that represents the AFL. It represents every person in the AFL, whether they want to be associated with it or not. In the following days, we saw clubs coming out both at like everything from the top level down to grass leagues coming out and saying that they do not agree with that statement and that it does not reflect the views of players and staff throughout the entirety of the AFL. The AFL came out and was so angry that they ended up sacking the head of the appeals board. I think that the damage is kind of done with this already.
I think the damage was done the minute they released that. Like, how many hoops should you have to jump through to make such a public statement? Like, who is approving this? Who's checking it? It's the same argument that I had with the Elijah Hollands thing. Like, we know that there are, like, gates that you have to get through for this. Like, we're all adults. We know how the world works. Like, how the hell did this just get out like that? And he's just been so brazen with all of his bigotry on display. And nobody went, oh, hold on a sec. Do you think maybe we should just... I know that maybe you think that behind closed doors and you are quite an influential person here, but maybe we just don't tell people about that. Or was this the plan? Did someone go, yeah, fuck it, get that out publicly because I'm sick of you. And this is going to be your downfall, Barbie.
I just like the thought that there's an editor somewhere who's like had 2 jobs to do that day, and the first one was this, and he ticked it off, and the second one was wife drama. He's like, well, my work's done for the day. Just proved these 2 things to go out. We're all good.
Just some classic rage baiting for the internet. No, it's funny because so many like people in actual high pressure jobs, actual hard jobs, nurses, doctors have come out and gone, my job's pretty hard and I'm pretty good at keeping in slurs.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I went to the hospital and the guy called me a slur because I'm part Sri Lankan.
I mean, so the fact it was 9 weeks, so he's a repeat offender, whether he definitely said it this time or not, whatever. It's the second time he's been charged for something, reported for something. Repeat offender, so he was given 9 weeks. For that to get slashed to 4 weeks and then for them to appeal that down to 2, like that in itself it's setting up terrible examples, terrible precedent, being like, oh, you can just do it again, doesn't matter. It should have just been more than the last time. Whatever he got last time, double it, and that's what it should have been.
I think the worst thing about this is that it's now so far removed from what he did.
Mm.
And I'll accept to a certain degree the idea that, okay, maybe there was no impartial witness to 100% guarantee. Like, we'll never know. Like, the answer is that we'll never be 100% certain. All I can say is that if someone's saying it, and we're accepting that it did happen, which this appeal outcome did accept that it happens, then it deserves the harshest penalty regardless. There's no place for that. Essentially, it's delusional and pandering to a fuckhead agenda to just let this go through. Like, I can't believe that they would let this come out when there is groups of people, whether they be people of color or people of different cultural identities or LGBTQIA people. Like, a standard needs to be set for what's okay in football, and this really dumb fucking message is now essentially said that it's okay to do that because football is hard, and that's then projected to every level of football, right down to children.
Mm-hmm. And the other line that they used was the fact that the victim was not personally offended.
Yeah. It's not about
not
that.
The point. It's not about that. It's not the point.
Even if you said it, you would never know.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't know. Like, I'm not suggesting anything, but like, even if the player was personally affected by it, would they risk outing themselves to do that? Probably not in the AFL, given the response to this. But yeah, this is a complete abandoning of people that they need to value and protect. And yeah, football has failed. Failed at every point in this one. All right, speaking of a system that failed, hey, the ARC review. Is that our frog? Did we go through the frog?
Is that the frog? Yeah, that was the frog.
To be fair, I think they're all frogs. Like, we're going to be talking about various AFL things failing.
Yeah, they're all frogs.
Frogs of varying sizes.
To end that on another positive note, on the back of our Welcome to Country, we wholeheartedly love and support all of our minority communities that make up what makes this country and sport great. Like, we support you. Fuck them. This isn't okay. Don't let anyone be a dick on the football field. It's not a thing that you allow. The ARC. So, what happened was, one point in, hang on, I have it written down here somewhere because I wasn't aware of this. So, initially during the St Kilda and West Coast game, at one point there was a behind that was called. Play restarts, and almost a minute later, ARC calls up the umpire, ring, like the banker in Deal or No Deal, and he goes, hey, Rowan Marshall marked it, and you need to give the ball back to him, and he kicks a goal. Wow, this was something that didn't change the outcome of the game, but it probably is a little bit unprecedented in I don't think ARC have ever intervened this late after players restarted.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever gone
55
this long.
seconds
Yeah.
feels long in football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't understand why people are outraged at this. This is exactly what ARC was brought in to do. Like, yes, it's unprecedented because we haven't really had the situation where play has restarted and then I think the ball was on the wing. I remember I was watching it and the ball was around the wing. They were throwing it in. It had gone out of bounds. And then all of a sudden the umpires started talking and they were like, we need to take it back to the goal square. So, yeah, it was unprecedented, but I don't understand why people are all up in arms about it. This is exactly what a review system is there for. They reviewed it.
Crazy.
The wrong call was made, so they brought it back and corrected it. Like,
It's
yeah.
absolutely crazy to me that people have spent, and like specifically commentators, like it happens all the time. Like Jess and I talk about it all the time when the football's on. They're always whinging about that. Oh, why are they reviewing that? Or why don't ARC intervene in this? And why isn't someone checking that? Or why is this taking so long? And then the one time they actually do it, they won't shut up about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's the thing that gets me is it's one of those classic things where they're never happy of when they call a review, they complain and say, oh, why have they reviewed this? The umpire should have just backed himself in. And then when they don't call a review, they say, well, we've got a review system. Why didn't they ask for it to be reviewed? Like, fuck, just accept one of them.
They would have replayed the footage a million times as well. You know, like every time they cut to something else while something's going on,
Yeah.
they'd have been like, oh, look at this other angle or look at this. And they'd be showing it going, oh, you know, that's... And if it had been influential in the game and it had been within 4 points or whatever, it would have been all everyone could talk about because they'd be up in arms about it.
And then the umpires would have had to come out later in the week and say, yeah, we stuffed up.
Yeah,
sorry.
And to be fair...
but now we
55
can't
seconds
change
later, makes sense.
Yeah.
Then.
And to be fair, when you see the footage, like it was a legitimate like millimeters in it. Like it was... When I saw the replay, I was like, why have they brought that back? He clearly hasn't marked that over the line. But when you see it slowed down frame by frame, the ball is like the kind of edge of the ball is still technically on the line. So it was deemed as a mark. It was literally millimeters in it. So it was a tough call.
Well, this is backed up by in the GWS North Melbourne game, there was a mark taken on the line that was a non-call.
No, so it was
Non-call?
a goal that was touched by Griffin
That's it.
Logue. And yeah, it was, I don't know if they even reviewed it. Well, they review all goals. They reviewed it, but I think it was deemed to be not insufficient evidence. But all of the replays, kind of the commentators and everyone was kind of saying, well, it looks like his finger's bent back. Like you can clearly see it bent back. And then, yeah, the AFL came out on Monday and said, we stuffed up. We done stuffed up.
guys.
And they said, but most of our calls are pretty good lately.
Yeah, Greg Swan fronted the media and gave a statement that was really lukewarm. I don't know. I feel like we've kind of covered this, but do you guys agree? Like, we kind of just have to accept that the game is imperfect, and the fact that we have all this stuff that's in place, we either need to lean in and go, okay, well, if everything's being reviewed and something gets called back, that's just how it is, or we need to accept and just go like, well, wrong decision was made. That's football.
Yeah.
This in between sensationalist shit is just really like pisses me off.
Because, like, we were chatting about it tonight over dinner, just like, how fucking hard would umpiring be? Like, you try running 20 kilometers and then my husband goes, try running 20 kilometers and then solving a maths problem. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. I can't do that standing still. But, you know, like you're running, you're constantly looking, you're trying to decide who's in charge of the ball where, and you're passing and it's my turn, it's your turn, and did him do that, and did that happen then? And of course they're going to make mistakes. And I think the fact that they do call it back and own their mistakes and be like, whoops, my bad, stuffed up there. I got knocked out by Took Miller just from running backwards. Like, it's really, really hard. And to have 90,000 people swearing at you and yelling at you constantly, asking if you're blind, like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was thinking about it when we were talking about all this stuff and thinking, I can barely see shit that's happening on the TV in my own house, let alone if this was all happening in front of me. And I'm like, oh, shit, did he touch that? And then you've got to make an instant decision on it. You don't even get like a minute to think and go, oh, hang on, yeah, no, I think it did. Yeah, that was a behind. Okay, cool. You've just got to do the arms and then commit to it. Or call the dude over and do the review. And then you just know that you've got a million people at home going, fucking umpires, stupid. How could he not see that that's not that? Okay, give him a break. We're not fucking robots.
When we go to the football with some friends of ours and they bring their daughter, you ask her, who's your favourite team? You know, you'd think she'd say Fremantle Dockers. She says the yellow team. She goes for the umpires because there's less of them. She feels sorry for them.
So in reaction to this, the AFL have made some immediate changes to ARC, which is that they can no longer intervene and stop play once the ball's back in motion, and they will revert to the umpire's on-field call more regularly rather than overriding them, which is why even exist at that point, to be quite honest.
Exactly. Like, that just means that in this scenario, if this were to happen again, it just means that the players that are kicking in, if they have any doubt that maybe it was marked on the line, they're just going to straight away play on and kick it in because then the ball's in play and that means it can't be reviewed.
Yeah. Problems create more problems. Fuck the AFL. Well, okay, before we move on from this game, we've got one more thing to talk about, and that is a story that has come out today.
I think it was last night, technically. Yeah.
Regarding Coach of St. Kilda, notorious garlic breath, and registered potential sexual deviant, at least a sexual pest, Ross Lyon. He, in the preseason of 2026, he made a statement during a preseason training session that was insensitive to Indigenous players. I don't have the direct quote in front of me, and to be quite honest, if it is offensive, I don't care to repeat it. Essentially, though, this did not sit well with those players, and what happened was a call took place between himself and Brad Hill, who is kind of as I believe he's the older of the Indigenous players and kind of represents them and has that maturity around him. He's a leader within the community. He and Ross had a call. Ross then had a meeting with the whole team where he acknowledged that his statements were bad. He was upset. He offered to resign as well if the players were uncomfortable with him continuing. Genuinely seemed sincere. And this was reported by Caroline Wilson as part of Agenda Setters, which, as we know, is a cesspool of human shit. So there's not much to this story because it has been resolved. Since that came out, Brad Hill posted on his Instagram saying, "We love Ross. Like, it's all good." A photo of him and Nas with Ross while they were out celebrating. Nas reposted it on his social media as well. And, you know, I think the best thing that I can say about it was said by the very good Marnie Vinyl, who is one of the best journalists going around at the moment, where she said, "I think we're all so accustomed to sensationalism in stories and knee-jerk reactions that a lot was misconstrued in the recent Ross story. In her opinion, the reporting, which was factual and balanced, showed a sensitive incident being handled really well between players and a coach. And as much as I dislike Ross Lyon, I genuinely agree with that. When you look at all the facts objectively, this was a situation that was bad and then was resolved in a way that everybody was happy with. Therefore, like, this is people learning and growing. Granted, you know, like, he didn't use a slur, to be very clear. Like, he just said something that was considered offensive by those players. Agenda Setters, the worst fucking program ever. I agree.
I think what annoys me about this is that something else that Caroline Wilson said while she was reporting on this was that Ross has basically said that he feels a sense of relief now that it's actually going to be reported on because it's kind of been hanging over his head. And I hate that that's the atmosphere that the AFL media creates, is that if you put a foot wrong, even though it was all completely sorted out internally, handled with maturity and respect and everything was sorted out, it then hangs over that person's head that, the media is going to report on this at some point, but I don't know when. Like, that
and
sucks.
maybe that's a bit like the Dylan Moore stuff. I know it's a completely unrelated situation, but it's like that happened so long ago in the off-season that it was like, when is it going to come out?
Well, it feels like they hold on to it until it's convenient for them to run something on Agenda Setters where they need people to engage and they need people to be upset, and they feel like this is the exact kind of issue that people will be up in arms about, which some people have been. But it's like when all the facts are there that it was resolved amicably.
Mm.
Like,
and then
what's
the
the
Indigenous
story?
players have come out and said, hang on,
Yeah.
not a problem.
All
We
the people
sorted this.
involved.
Yeah.
It's just tiring. It's so tiring. And hey, that's all we've got from this game. Other
Thank
games
God.
other games happen this weekend, but I'm looking at a runtime now. So there's only actually really one other game that I want to talk about, and that's Hawthorn versus the Suns, which leads us to our next segment of the podcast. Did Cass do her homework? Play the theme song. Did Cass do her homework?
I want to do some investigative research. Oh, maybe I'll set myself a task for next week. Thank you for
Cass.
making a theme song. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, did you like it? I thought it came out good. You'll notice that the first version and the second version sound different because I made the second one much better. And that's the one I'll probably use this week. You probably just heard it. It's very good. I had fun. Cass, did you do your homework this week?
It has been a very busy week. My 10-month-old child has started daycare and he also got sick. Surprise, surprise, from starting daycare. So I'd like to present a doctor's note. And also, I would present that doctor's note, but my dog ate it. And so, no, I have not done my homework.
Well, okay. And on this week's episode of Did Cass do her homework, the answer is no. Extension granted. Play the theme song.
Just to be clear, stop the theme song. Just to be clear, that's my individual homework. Now, did we all as a team collectively?
I'm not making a second theme song, so it's going to have to be a separate segment after we play the outro. Did Cass do her homework?
I want to do some investigative research. Oh, maybe I'll set myself a task for next week.
Did we all do it? Okay, we'll talk about the game quickly. I don't know if you guys watched this. I watched the mini of it. Hawthorn look really good, and I feel like they've kind of snuck up to being very good now, and that's kind of upsetting for me. Like, I know this game was at Utah's, and, you know, they kind of have the home ground advantage there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot about Hawthorn that is just giving me real bad vibes for teams that have to come up against them in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I don't like them.
I don't like it. I agree, Chris.
And see, this is the funny thing. The same, like, you look at the ladder, they're on the same amount of points as Fremantle, and yet you speak about Hawthorn very differently to how you speak about
They're
Fremantle.
much more exciting to watch than Fremantle. I thought we covered this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought we covered this.
Hawthorn, what's an exciting ice cream flavour that I don't like?
You don't like.
All of them except for vanilla. You seem like a vanilla man, Chris.
No, I like mint.
Fremantle's vanilla.
I like mint. I like cookies and cream.
You
I like
like
salted
mint?
caramel.
These are all very basic flavors.
whoa.
There's nothing
Fremantle
complex about it.
I don't. Hawthorn, some sort of fruity berry
Yeah.
flavour.
Hawthorn are like the ones that are like, I'm a lemon cheesecake.
I was going to say lemon sorbet, not
Yeah.
actually an ice cream.
I love lemon sorbet, so no, they're not lemon sorbet.
Oh.
Because, lemon sorbet clean the
Banana
palate,
chocolate,
right, Chris?
banoffee.
No.
Whoa, leave the nuts.
All right.
Steady on.
I was just looking at the yellow and brown colours, like, what could it be?
What I'm trying to say is that they're exciting,
Yeah.
and I hate
I
them.
was trying to say, because you never finished the metaphor.
We just started talking about ice cream flavours.
Maybe that's since we're handing out homework in this podcast now, that's for next week, Chris. I want to see an ice cream flavor for every team.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Just remind me to do it next Monday before we record, because otherwise I'll
I'll give you
forget.
an hour.
7:30, got it.
Yeah,
I'll give you an hour.
otherwise I'll
Um,
forget.
Yeah, no, I get you, Chris. Like, there's something about it that I'm just like, I like you, but also I don't want to be you.
Okay. Well, good.
Good. And how do we feel like the fall off of the Suns has been?
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we all had them finishing quite high, like on our ladders, like 3, 4, and they're sitting at what, 6, 7? 6, 7. Every week. What do I do? I'm not
Every
that
week.
person.
I'll be sure to set the 6-7 days without 6-7 back to 0.
We're sitting at 7.
I think that the big thing with Gold Coast over the last few weeks was, Petrarca's not there. Petrarca's injured. He had such a good start to the season. That's impacted him. Petrarca was back. And he had a good game. Noah Anderson actually had his first good game of the year as well. But they still got fucking pumped. I don't know. I think we overestimated them. I think they're still a very young team, and I think they just don't have the maturity yet to compete.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very worried about that. I feel like maybe we got too excited about them finishing finals.
Yeah.
Just pretenders.
Yeah, maybe it's like the crushing weight of expectation that's finally taken them down. I was like, I'm a bit sad that they've let me down. I think a part of me actually hoped that maybe this year they could do it and just kind of shake things up a bit. It's like I needed that excitement of this young team kind of knocking everybody else out and just steamrolling everyone, and they've just not done it.
If you want a team that hasn't won before, to be exciting and to get behind.
They're not exciting.
not
That's the
fun
issue.
They're not exciting, Kat.
They're not exciting at all.
I know a team you can get behind, and we're going to beat
I
the
do like
Bulldogs by a
purple,
lot.
though.
There you go.
Purple's good. I
And
can
red
get
and
behind
blue,
the purple.
your team, red and blue makes purple, so it makes sense.
I feel like
Match made in heaven.
looking at the ladder, I feel like the top 6, right? So the non-wildcard teams is actually like super interesting at this stage. Because I feel like Sydney, we probably expected them to be on top or close to. Brisbane in the top 6, understandable. They've had some injuries, but they're back, baby. They absolutely smashed the Crows this week. Hawthorn, I'd probably say that we expected them to be a finals team. So sitting in third isn't unexpected. Freo in second is great. Probably, I think people rated them a lot lower. Melbourne were meant to
And
be
some
zero
people put them in number 1.
Yeah, some people put them at number 1 every year for the rest of time. Melbourne, I think people expected to be 0-7 or possibly 0-6 last week. And North Melbourne, people probably would have said the same thing. And I think that's an exciting 50-50 of the top 6. So I think you're right, Jess, that the shake-up is happening. Like the Suns are only 7th. They're just outside. Geelong have fallen to 9th. Collingwood are 8th. The Bulldogs, 10th, right in their wheelhouse.
But if you look at like 5 to 10 are all sitting on the same amount of points. So
That's it.
I
And Port notched up a win against Geelong this week. So a Port potentially rises. Who knows?
No.
We'll find out in the showdown. But before we wrap up for the week, we all did have a bit of homework last week. Listeners who weren't there but should have been there, go back and listen. Hang out in the comments with Grace, Cass's mum. She's our favourite fan. We love her.
there was
thanks
another
for listening.
somebody hanging out with my mum in the comments this
Yeah, friend of the show, Benji. He's also a listener of the Footy Mailbag, which I host with Damo every Wednesday. Yep, so
Plug.
it's coming out for that. Yeah, plug. Anyway, we all had a competition to see who could come up with the best Nick Watson wizard-themed piece of commentary. I think we didn't really set any hard and fast rules, so I just decided to come up with a one-liner that was somewhat wizard-related that could be used in a very specific moment. So does everybody have one? Did everybody do their homework?
I believe we did it
Yes.
just before we started
Just before recording? Maybe?
together. It was
Yeah,
a group
together.
project.
I'm gonna go from top to bottom. Cass, you're first on my list of what is your Nick Watson wizard line?
Spell, yeah. Hawthorn's wand and only pocket rocket forward. It's unstoppable with 2 goals on the wicket.
Nice, I love that.
Just keep going.
Oh, mine's
yeah,
not
just
that
keep
one.
going. Yeah, it was. I went for like a commentary line, but you went for a byline, and I
I've gone for
appreciate
it,
that.
a headline.
Yeah, that's like a tweet. Like I love
Mhm.
that. Jess, you're next on my list.
No, mine was a commentary line, and the best I could do was abracadribbling all the way through the steps.
Abraca what?
Dribbling.
Abracadribbling. You heard me.
Yeah, okay.
Don't make me say it again.
I like that. You know what? It's taking a second to clunk the pieces. It's a play on abracadabra. I love it. It's good. Chris.
I've got Nick Watson doesn't need a wand. He's got a Hawkus Pawkus that leaves defenders totally spellbound.
Oh, honker, honker.
Hawkus Pawkus.
Because he
Okay.
plays for the Hawks, Jess.
Yeah. You know what? Initial thoughts. I thought Hawkus was spelled Horkus, so I thought that was very funny. And combining Hawkus Pawkus makes it sound like a penis.
Well, I guess we all know what this episode's going to be called.
Hawkus Pawkus.
We love it. We didn't mention it as well. Did you guys? Sorry, I know that we're trying to wrap up the show, but did you guys see everyone pointing out that the Melbourne-Richmond banner looked like an Anzac Shrine
It did
penis?
look like a penis. Yes. The fact that
Yeah, I
we had the
did see
2
that.
wreaths.
The
at
2
bottom.
wreaths.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you haven't had a quick look, go have a look and do the meme from How I Met Your Mother, which is endured time, which is that's a penis. We're so sorry, Anzacs. Mine one, I went a little bit more deep cut with mine that is probably only appealing to a specific niche of people. And it said he's unstoppable using a classic Wizards Misty Step to evade that tackle.
Is that
It's a Dungeons and Dragons reference. Yeah, it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Well, it ain't no Hawkus Pawkus.
Yeah, we kind of peaked with Hawkus Pawkus, and I wish that I didn't go.
Spell, yeah.
And I know, listeners, that you are wishing that we didn't have to go, but we've come to the end of another Falcon. Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you can follow us on our socials at Falcon Footy Pod. We're on Instagram and X, where both Cass and I alternate turns tweeting from the account.
See if you can guess who.
See if you can guess whose tweets are whom's. You can also follow us individually. Cass, where can people find you?
You can follow me at CassVag.
Jess?
As Funky Jess with 2 Ys and no wizard-related puns.
No wizard-related puns. Christopher?
Lowry_16.
And you can find me at Quantum JC or over at my other show, The Footy Mailbag, which is my Supercoach show. Make sure you give us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Make sure you jump into the comments and hang out with Cass's mum, our favorite listener. Our favorite, and possibly sometime until our extra comment the other day, I thought only listener. So if she ever leaves, the show ends. Maybe we need Grace to check in every week, and we'll see if the show will continue next week. That'll be the new 5th quarter. But it does help us out if you can spread it by word of mouth. If you know somebody who needs a footy podcast and you think that we're funny, let them know. Let them have a listen. Tell them to find other show that has Hawkus Pawkus. I don't think you'll find any of the show delivers that kind of quality content. And for more quality content, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.